Here we go for Viktor Gyökeres. I wish people. Instead, we're being linked with, Nicholas Jackson. Apparently, Manchester United and Atletico Madrid are closely monitoring developments and are plotting potential hijacks. And there's everything in between. Here we go, Viktor Gyökeres, man. I mean, even by Arsenal standards, this dragged out saga is crazy. Smash the like button and let me know what you think. And don't worry, Viktor Gyökeres. I think this meme sums up every Arsenal fan on the planet. You would have seen yesterday, breaking, there is complete deadlock in negotiations between Arsenal and Sporting for Viktor Gyökeres. The situation is so complicated that Gyökeres' father broke down in tears because talks aren't moving forward. The Portuguese club are determined not to lower their demands. Surely, people, what is like? Is there something more? Because I have seen some of you comment, do Arsenal really want Gyökeres? Because you could argue just pay the money. Equally, I do think Arsenal are in their rights to haggle, and if they feel they can tailor the bonuses a certain way, why not? Of course, surely for Viktor Gyökeres, for Sporting, for Arsenal Football Club, this is being dragged out. We've monitored it. It is what it is. You've done so much of the business that a couple of £1 million, nice for us if we had that in our wallet, but a couple of £1 million in bonuses is hanging up the deal. I don't know. And big up his dad on the crocodile tears. The mentality seems to run within the family genes, people. You would have seen apologies. Well, David Ornstein, Fabrizio Romano, and obviously Ben Jacobs saying, and to be honest, we should know this. If we're haggling around bonuses, we have to be close to an agreement. Apparently, there was hope for a breakthrough over the weekend. Hopefully, with it still being the weekend, that can be done. A small portion of add-ons still under discussion. Gyökeres is waiting for permission to undergo a medical, and it would be 63.5 million euros plus a 10 million euros package broadly agreed. And apparently, only small details are left. I don't know for the crying stuff because I think this sums it up perfectly. And I think, to be fair, the Portuguese media I've made this count. They've got a lot of clicks and engagement. So after crying, Viktor Gyökeres' dad picked up his phone and told the Portuguese media he just finished crying because there's no breakthrough in negotiations between Arsenal and Sporting regarding his son. Portuguese media is running mad, but this nonsense will end soon. I hope so. Atletico Madrid are closely following the negotiations between Arsenal and Sporting over Gyökeres. Naturally, they're rather fond of him. We heard that during Berta's days over there. If they completely is off the table, then other European clubs will sniff at bringing in a top quality striker. Big up hand of Arsenal. Apologies, people. He's played a blinder where the news and keeping us all informed is concerned. Arsenal and the camp of Viktor Gyökeres are very relaxed about the situation. There's constant communication. Important to choose my words carefully during the final sensitive steps. The player awaits the signal to fly for his medical. One source tells me he was in Mallorca yesterday, but I'm yet to confirm that. Allow me the grace to report as and when health permitting. Much love. Big up yourself. Hope the health is all right, hand of Arsenal. Keep doing what you're doing. Ali Barrett, who apparently is an agent and helped broker Arsenal's move for Noni Madueke, also offers Xavi Simons to the football club, but we'll get back into that. Just bear that in mind. Smash the like button. Let me know your thoughts so far. Gyökeres is desperate apparently to play for Arsenal. Arsenal close to signing the player. No advanced negotiations for Manchester United, which conflicts this. Man United are very close to an agreement with Sporting for Gyökeres, with numbers very close to those negotiated with Arsenal. The deal with Arsenal is increasingly in jeopardy now. Bit of fear mongering, bit of agent stuff. I'm not saying we're necessarily going to get Gyökeres because at this point I need to see him and do his medical and hold his shirt. But when moves of players get close, you do hear other clubs who have had interest in him. United need a striker. Obviously, Gyökeres used to be managed under A.Madrid. We just went on over Atletico Madrid. You can see where the creative journalism starts to come through at delicate 11th hours. Man United and Sporting are apparently close to an agreement, but Gyökeres maintains his position. He only wants to play for Arsenal. There you have it. Once we get involved, it's different. Arsenal obsessed with striker, sends legal letters as far as cries. That act of refusing to turn up and instead opting out of pre-season training doesn't appear to have helped the 27-year-old much. And there's certainly been no attempt to rush from either side over the past few days. There's been reputable damage to the player, and whatever he's doing to keep himself fit whilst hiding out in Stockholm obviously won't be on a level anywhere near what he'd get from training with a top-level professional football club. I mean, he would have known that. As for the route over bonuses, with Ebola reporting yesterday, it's not only the negotiating point with payment terms and who pays the solidarity fee yet to be decided. further frustration grows on all sides. Apparently, Gyökeres has been officially notified that he's under disciplinary proceedings, and he responded via his legal team. The Portuguese newspaper states the Sweden international has retaliated, responding through his lawyers, with the certainty he will not play for the green and white team again, as he believes that his club, managed by Federico Varandas, in this case his president, who has failed the Lions top scorer in the last 2 years. For failing to comply, he emphasized with the promise of letting him leave for a sum substantially below the release clause of 100 million euros. Again, it's still growing. Gyökeres' camp have threatened that they've got proof regarding that. So we actually haven't learned anything. Over the weekend, you would have seen it was reported that his father broke into tears this weekend due to the frustration and fears the transfer may never happen. That appears to be another leak from the players' camp meant to pressure things, and it's mad clear Sporting aren't moving. The saga drags on. It's clear the whole thing has been managed appallingly. Arsenal were promised Viktor Gyökeres at a fee that wasn't remotely possible, and have since been in a battle to play as little more as possible. Fair play. Again, the United stuff, they're apparently on the verge of agreement and all that kind of jazz. Arsenal's stance on jetting Viktor Gyökeres to Asia tour as transfer saga goes on. Apparently, Arsenal remain optimistic. Do you lot, people, that they can tie up a deal for Sporting over Gyökeres in time for the Swede to feature on the pre-season tour of Asia? Arsenal will weigh up excusing Gyökeres from their pre-season tour, a bit like Madueke, altogether if a total agreement cannot be struck with Sporting by early next week. So what's early next week? Monday, Tuesday? We play on Wednesday. While the two clubs verbally agreed on a deal worth an initial £55 million plus £8.6 million in bonuses, there's been a difference of opinion over the makeup of add-ons involved, and the stubborn Portuguese champions are continuing to play hardball. Should the frustrating delay continue, Arsenal will consider keeping Gyökeres in London as opposed to him flying solo to Asia to protect his conditioning ahead of the Premier League season. At this stage, they remain relaxed, are committed to finalising negotiations with Sporting, and are still prioritising getting Gyökeres on the plane to join up with his new teammates. The timing of the white smoke will ultimately dictate whether his involvement is feasible, despite a clear desire to get him to the Far East pronto. And it would be a 13-hour flight. Christian Mosquera is basically an Arsenal player, hasn't travelled. Madueke wanted to go, but the club said you need to stay. We beat Watford in a behind closed door friendly. Kicking off in the week to come, we've got AC Milan, Newcastle, and Tottenham Hotspur. Gyökeres is still awaiting the green light to travel to London for his medical. It's understood the prolific striker remains eager to join up with the Arsenal squad as soon as possible. If negotiations do rumble on deep into next week, Arsenal would be cautious about flying the Swede across the globe for what will essentially be a bit part role in the tour program. It's not yet ruled out he could in fact remain in the capital and follow a tailored individual training schedule. Gyökeres, who has been put through his paces by personal trainer Giannis Kasaganis in recent weeks, holds dual citizenship for Sweden and Hungary and would not require a visa to enter either Singapore or Hong Kong. I mean, you do get a bit of flexibility in that regard. So, yeah, I think everybody just wants to see an end to this, people. So, yeah, in theory, he could still join. Naturally, with this Draglion, Arsenal obviously have to be flexible in, does he join us for pre-season in Asia? Does he obviously maybe train with the under-21s or play in their friendlies and obviously have an individual program? What have you lot made of everything we've read so far? Bayern Munich have made contact with Trossard about a potential move. Even though Arsenal are preparing a new contract offer, the German club are prepared to pay a higher salary. I mean, Bayern Munich are going to win trophies, and money is important at this stage in his career, Trossard. That's something. Chelsea are prepared to offer Aston Villa a player in exchange for Morgan Rogers. This has no relevance to Arsenal. Can we get involved in the Morgan Rogers stuff? Again, Xavi Simons was offered to us. Real Madrid are also keeping an eye on Saliba. I can't imagine that's anything new. Wanyeri and his camp in Arsenal have put the pen to paper over a new 4 to 5 year contract. You'd imagine when we're back from Singapore, if not over there, there'll be official confirmation over that. Romano and everybody is saying Chelsea and Arsenal are among clubs attentive to Xavi Simons' situation this summer. He's prepared to leave Leipzig as revealed since May, and Premier League top clubs are informed. No bids or talks yet. Nothing concrete with Barcelona, who have been linked. Ben Jacobs, interestingly, has said 65 million euros plus potential add-ons is understood to be a realistic ballpark for Leipzig to accept. We've signed a young lad from Derby, and we've also signed a young Irishman who will join us when he turns 18, people. So it's nice to see the recruitment drive. And then obviously we're trying to get that striker from Salford City. I'm sure we're linked with the young Blackburn forward. So a couple of young strikers, developmental signings, bring them in, they develop and become first team players, great. Hopefully they're brought in for a couple of £1,000, make us millions of pounds, we make profit. You know, we need to start getting top money for Haaland talent, and obviously fixing up our loan pathway. And I don't know if the Cronky's ever on this, but looking in the multi-club structure, nobody don't care about Rodrigo anymore, do they, Arsenal fans? Rodrigo's in two minds about his future. He loves Real Madrid and feels he could still give a lot to the club, but feels he has the opportunity to be a star at another club. Come and join us so you could be a massive star. The documentation is being prepared for the signature of Christian Mosquera. The final steps are nearly complete before the Spaniard officially becomes an Arsenal player. Sources with connections to agents industry have informed Court Offside Rodrigo looks increasingly likely to leave Real Madrid this summer. Interested clubs are unlikely to go near his 100 million euros asking price, but Arsenal could test the waters with an 80 million euros offer. So with that being said, do you think we could get Rodrigo? Do you still hold hope on Eze? Where do you think the future of Trossard lies? When do you think we'll get confirmation over this Gyökeres stuff? And where do you lot feel about Xavi Simons, man? Join the comments, people. Let me know. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Any news, you know the boy will be there. But for now, one love.